Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Interpret the message as it best resonates. Also know on this channel, I like to dive deep within the readings. So I look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks of shadow, see how they play out as karmic themes. This will allow you to understand why everything's playing out the way that it is. Now, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. And if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I feel like a lot of you guys write the word of the video, but you're not subscribed because people are not cashing in on their videos. I know that last night somebody did, but that was like the first time in like literally months. So just telling you, you gotta subscribe. So then this way you'll know that you were chosen, that you're the chosen one, and that you just need to reach out to me through the email. All important information like my email is in the description box. Now, if you're connected to a Virgo, check out my Virgo channel. If you're connected to a Gemini, check out that channel. All right. I think I covered everything. Oh, if you're someone that's interested in shadow healing, I will be opening up my shadow healing coaching program. I changed administrations. I had a little bit of problems with the old administration, but I am back on track and I'm really happy about it. I really love the guy that I'm working with now. I'm very ethical and very mindful of, the work that I do. And I think that that's the difference. So there's a lot of coaching programs out there that when you link up with people, you want to link up with people that have different energy than you. So again, I don't obviously pick people that are normally spiritual to work with. I pick people that are business oriented, and this person happens to be business oriented and somebody that's very spiritual. So they get it. They understand how important ethics is, right? They understand how important it is to be mindful of the other person's needs, where a lot of these coaching programs out there, it's like a one and done. It's like kind of like a fast food. That's what it feels like. It feels like fast food. So, and there's a time and there's a place for that. It's not like there isn't, but that's not the type of coaching program that I do. The coaching program that I do is very diversified. We go over inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and all the healing modalities to help you heal the effects of trauma, such as tapping and breath work and NLP. And there's so much more. But there's psychic development, because when you heal the effects of trauma, it expands your consciousness. So you find your gifts, and a lot of times your gifts can help you on your soul's purpose. So you find your soul's purpose. So there's life coaching also. So you're actually seeing the benefits. You should be living and practicing what I'm teaching at the same time. And so it's diversified, and I wanted to work with somebody that was more diversified and actually not so business. But see, not being a business person, how do you know that until you actually go out and do it? It didn't take me long though. I just felt like it's like, nah, it's not the right fit. It's like it wasn't anything logical. It was just like it's not the right fit. Not that there weren't mistakes, there were mistakes, but any coaching program in the beginning, there will be a little bit of mistakes because you got to find yourself in any of your processes, right? In anything that we do, there's an unfoldment process. A lot of times we try and rush that process, or we feel like there's something wrong with us because we can't find our process, or we don't know what our soul's path is, or we don't feel connected to anything or called to do anything. So understand, if you're living, then eventually it will happen, and because everything happens in divine time. But if you're not living, you don't see things happening. You don't see how the universe actually is always conspiring to bring you what you need. This channel hopefully is going to bring you what you need in helping you understand how you're creating the life experiences that you are, not just within your relationship, but within your life. All right, so I'd always like to put that out there. Now, if you're interested in purchasing my Psychic Soul Healing Oracle deck, you see these beautiful, beautiful cards. They're going in all different directions, but you can see the colors and some of the words on them, right? Like just beautiful. And it comes with a tangible workbook as well as a downloadable workbook that has over 100 different shadow healing exercises, teaches you how to deepen your meditation practice, teaches you how to do psychic readings, and teaches you how to do shadow work, how to heal the effects of trauma. To do coaching is great. Don't get me wrong. However, you want to have something to continually clear yourself of the negative energies that you acquire. Everybody does because we're interacting with in an imbalanced world. Not everybody thinks the way that you do. Not everybody feels the way that you do about certain things. And not everybody is as cool to know how to articulate in a way that's not toxic. We all deal with toxic energy, and that energy potentially can hurt us because our habits and our behaviorisms are formed by the people that we're around. So when you're dealing with people of a low energy over time, it really does affect your energy. You're not coming from your true self, then your higher self, you're coming from this survival mechanism. Because if you're in an environment with people that don't make you feel safe, whether or not they're trying to just gaslight you by making you feel like you're not deserving or not good enough, or they're actually doing something to you. It's natural to form habits and behaviorisms. The problem is when we get out of that relationship, we still have those habits and behaviorisms, and it's those that block us from manifesting, from creating the life and the life experiences that we want to have, because they're out of alignment with the laws of God, the laws of love, the laws of the universe, and the laws of nature, which are all the same thing, which is the energy that's inside of you, is the energy of spirit, is what connects us to each other. It's felt as empathy, sensitivity. So when we're actually in the flow of the universe, we're doing what's best for all, what's best for everyone involved, which is why I always do my winners live. And I do them live because it's what's best for everyone. You get the free reading, I get to expose the channel, and whoever resonates with the reading will get the benefits of it. Now, if you want your reading to be private, just send me your questions the day before. So then this way I can channel them and no one needs to know who you are. Because unless the person makes it known, like, hey, I'm here. Like I had a client, not client, but a winner yesterday that was like, I won. Like, you knew that she won and she wasn't afraid to show that she won. But sometimes you have people that like, I don't want anyone to know that I won the reading. You don't have to say anything. Just wanted to put that out there. Okay, the word of the video is reactive, reactive. I feel like you both have spiritual blocks where you both can be reactive and trigger, like you're in connection with somebody, that there is love there. But I feel like when you are just talking to them, having a conversation with them, they heard through the distorted perception of the wound. They didn't really hear what you were saying, and they reacted. And at the time, they really never visited what you said because they were so mad. They were so agitated by what you said, how you said it, that they were like, oh, well, you're going to walk away from me. Well, I'm not going to come running after you. You're going to come back to me. I'm not going to apologize to you because you were rude. They were like, you were rude. You don't know what you're talking about. And again, whatever they heard, like, was not really what they heard. And that might have been like, you might have said something as simple as, do you want to go to dinner? Yeah. Or let's go to see this movie. And this person was hearing you through like the distorted perception of you telling them like how things need to be. And this person can't deal with criticism. They have wounds. So I looked down and literally the card that's on top, face up, and this deck, like it's like this, literally is what? It's insecure. And I don't think that that's a coinky dinky. I think that it's actually what it is that this person is extremely insecure. But when you met this person, I don't think that you knew how much insecure they were, and that's the issue. It's like I think that you thought that they were a lot more mature than they were, a lot stronger in themselves than they were. And that'll happen if the person doesn't let you get that close and you don't really know who they are. Yeah, this shows again that there is this spiritual connection, there is a knowing, and there's a wisdom, and we see by the sacred geometry and the dove that there is a very spiritual connection between you and this person. So it's not one of the mind. So I feel like you and this person have a spiritual connection, but you're not on the same mental wavelength. So there's parts of you that get triggered by them and vice versa. And then I don't really even feel like you have a lot in common with this person. Or you might, but they don't show you any part of them that you really resonate with. So they could always, when they're around you, talk about things that they excel in, but it's something that you don't excel in. And so you don't have a passion for. I feel like this person will sit around and they'll talk about their money, literally, and investments because they feel like it makes them feel secure. They're like spotlighting that they're smart, that they're financial savvy, but I don't feel like that you have a connection with what they talk about. So there's a little bit of that the person's insecure. They want to seem more secure. So they talk about things that they feel that will, but in that you're not building an emotional connection is what I'm getting at. Even though there is a spiritual connection. Yeah, and it's like you don't trust this person and you don't trust them anymore because again, instead of them talking to you and saying, "Hey, I like why did you say what you said to me?" Or I thought what you said to me was so rude. They backed away. They dropped the connection. I feel like they deliberately ran around with other people, talked to other people. They didn't care whether you saw, they didn't care what you did. It's like, and now I feel like they're looking back on how they treated you and they feel like shit. And there's also a sense that they still have feelings for you, but they know that their trust is gone within the connection because they didn't fix it. Instead, what did they do? What they withdrew. I had to do that because again, that deck is down, but for whatever reason, that card was faced up. So again, it just fit there. So again, they didn't exceed your expectations. I feel like this person thought you were going to run after them. That's what I think. I think that they thought that you were going to run after them. They knew that there was a connection. They didn't really want it to get this out of hand. They were trying to teach you a lesson. Problem is, there was no lesson that you needed to learn. And then what they did, because again, they expected you to chase them, they gaslit you, ran around with a lot of other people, talked to a lot of people, acted like they didn't care. And I think in the beginning, this person thought that that's what you were doing. Now, what they're seeing is that you never played any games. You just detached. That was it. You didn't argue with them. You didn't like try to manipulate the situation. You didn't do any of that. That you just detached, where I feel like this person tried to gaslight you. They were like, they had expectations that you were going to come running back to them. They thought that you were going to be so devastated that you were going to, try to fix and repair the relationship, especially after you said what they thought that you said. And so because they knew that there was still a spiritual connection, but you hurt their ego. So, you knew that they were gaslighting you, and you're like, I'm not going to come running back to you and apologize for something that I don't feel like I should have to apologize. Just because you don't like what I said doesn't mean that I need to apologize for it because it's really how I feel. I feel like you don't give me time. You don't get close enough to me. I feel like you feel like they had a hard time of letting go of the past and the fears that were associated with it. And they continue to manifest as chaos in this person's relationships. And the chaos is really the fact that they're reactive. Everything that they hear is not what they're really hearing. They were in a bad relationship. They were in a toxic relationship, possibly because this person tends to be stubborn. Well, that's what we really see here. It's like they're stubborn. They didn't want to come back and apologize. The focus was on like not coming back and being transparent and really like laying their cards on the table about how they felt about you. They didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that. Instead, they wanted to gaslight you, acted like, you're not as important because whatever you said hurt my feelings. So I'm going to walk away and I'm going to act like I don't care. And I'm going to talk to other people. I'm going to let you see. I'm going to gaslight you and think that now I don't have feelings for you. But you can still feel that they had feelings for you, but you were also watching what they were doing. You didn't react. This person wanted you to react. This person, like I said, is they need to heal the relationships of the past because as long as they don't, they will continue to be reactive. Because right here, this shows it, right? They manifest in chaos in this person's relationships because they're not really present. It's like you don't know who you're really dealing with. You're like you wear a mask. It's like you pretend that now you don't have feelings. And so when you were with me and you acted like you had feelings, did you really have feelings? So there's a sense of I don't really trust you anymore because the relationship didn't need to get so toxic. It didn't need to get so out of hand. It got out of hand for because you reacted, but after a while you saw that you reacted. I don't think that this person like really ever looked at what they did, to be honest with you. I feel like they reacted and then they didn't care. There was a sense of, well, you don't care, well, I'm going to show you. It's like, and they were reacting from a place of anger. They expected you to get triggered. You didn't. You allowed them to hang themselves pretty much. And that's what this person was shocked about. It's like you let them hang themselves and then you just kind of let go. You were the one that was like kind of maybe holding the rope and then you just kind of like let it go, where you were like, and that's what they didn't expect. So I understand for this person to really have to come back and fix it, they would have to really surrender their ego. So again, and this person has fear of change. Part of the fear of change is they're used to acting a certain way. They're used to wearing a certain mask. They want to be perceived as a certain way. They don't want their self-image to be ruined. So the change is actually, I have to come back to you and apologize. I have to do things differently. The problem is that this person has a spiritual block. And again, the blocks is not really the problem. The psychological block is the behaviorisms and habits that come from that. So I'm feeling like this person has such a low self-esteem. They're so insecure from their previous relationship that they're really afraid that they're going to get rejected. There's a sense of, I'm not good enough. See, a person has a fear of change when they're not really strong within themselves. And I feel like, again, that why their relationships play out as chaos is because they're still looking at themselves as not deserving of love from that previous relationship. So it's like they're afraid to actually get close. And I'm not saying that that gives them an excuse, but then you can actually say, well, this is an issue that has nothing to do with me. How, even though it's triggering you, you can say, this situation is triggering me. I need to learn something from it. However, it's not being caused from me. They came in this way. I'm trying to lay boundaries down or just have a conversation to create some intimacy, like which is just a stronger, deeper emotional connection. And this person's getting triggered by it. They think that I'm controlling them. They think that I'm telling them what to do. And then they're thinking that I'm rude because again, they're reacting. So of course I'm reacting. So this is the dynamic that they've created. Like, because you again spoke your voice. So I feel like, that's probably a spiritual lesson that you needed to learn, right? Growing up in an environment where you weren't really allowed to voice your opinion, not feeling safe or not feeling like you could be transparent. So it's hard for you to do to begin with. And so here it is, you wind up with this person and you're like voicing your opinion. And of course, this person is problem is they don't want to voice their opinion, because if they voice their opinion, you may react. Because I feel like the previous relationship that they were with used to fight them and argue about how they felt and about, other dynamics in the relationship. So this person began to just not share. They began to close down, or they lied. They learned to lie. And there's a sense of still holding on to that energy where this person is still coming from that victim state consciousness, and you are like, well, you're not going to make me your victim, because if I can't voice my opinions, you're not going to let me set boundaries because you're going to react. Well, I'm not going to be a victim, because you're manipulating me. You're manipulating me. You're trying to control the relationship, where I don't know whether that's what this person thought that they were doing. That's what I'm trying to get at. I think what they were really trying to do was not go that deep within the relationship. And then when you went deep, they got triggered and they heard through the distortion of that wound that you were like telling them what to do. And then when they got triggered and reacted, then you got a little bit more stern, where you laid boundaries and was like, I don't want to be in a relationship that is like just hook up. Or you just like you want to talk, like you don't really want to have a conversation with me. You want to like uh go into fantasy land, like you want to like pretend that, oh, I'm so sexy, and how you want to like be with me, and it's all a bunch of shit. You want to hook up with me. That's what you want to do, but you want to create this. I don't want to go there. That's not what I want to do. That's not the relationship I want. So once you set boundaries with this person, they got triggered, because hey, you were calling them out on what they were actually doing. It's like, but they took it as like you're telling me what to do, where you're like, no, you're trying to make me into some victim. That's what you're trying to do. Because if I'm not allowed to say what I want to say, or set appropriate boundaries, or to do any of it, well, it's a one-sided relationship. And I don't want to be in a one-sided relationship. That's what it really comes down to. You want me to be some sort of martyr or something, like I'm going to go along with you and fix it, and to do for you because you feel so bad about yourself. You feel so bad about yourself that I have to dummy down who I am, and I'm not doing it. And and that's really, it's like, you're not going to make me in fear. But really, the truth is that this person has fear of relationship. That's why they can't have the need to control it. So what we see here is a lot of projecting, a lot of projecting, a lot of projecting. This person can make you feel a certain way. It's not like they can't. Want to see, let's see how they feel. Let's see how they feel, like there's some hidden truth. Like, what are they going to do? What do they feel? Because what we see here is like, unless they heal themselves, this connection is not a good relationship. They have to heal that shadow. Otherwise, any relationship, they're going to project. They're going to hear through their distorted wounds. They're going to, their relationships is going to continue to mirror all their previous relationships. And they're in a karmic loop. And that's what you saw. You're like, oh, I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone that makes me into the martyr, that makes me give up my voice. That's not happening. Not going to make me into a victim. I see exactly what you're doing. I don't like you as much. Yeah, just because we have a spiritual connection doesn't mean I like you that much. I love myself more. And this person, like, I think is shocked because, and also a little bit triggered by it because they don't love themselves enough, right? So this one fell out. I don't react when people mention you. No, they're in their ego. It's like because now they're like, I don't know whether I'm ever going to talk to you again. I don't really know what to say. It's like, because it's not like they screwed you over. You said, oh, I know what I can see. The writing's on the wall. I can see you want to hand me nothing. And you're going to sit there, if anything, and you're going to act like you're the victim. You're going to act like you're the martyr, but you're like projecting a lot of shit onto me. And you don't let me really speak without being reactive to it. So I'm gonna move away from you because like you're not giving me anything to even work with. This person didn't expect you to let go. So that's why they're like, I don't react when people say anything about you. I'm gonna act like I don't really care. But this person does care. I left when I saw you with someone. So I feel like for some of you, you wanted to be with this person. It's not like you didn't, but they weren't giving you anything. So after a while of them toying with you, what happened is that you started to talk to other people. So I feel like this person disconnected then because they're used to like people chasing them, not dropping them and meeting somebody else. That's not, that doesn't feed this person's security. If anything, what you did made them more insecure because this person on there's a part of them that doesn't believe that they're deserving of love. So they don't come in and really give enough to anybody. And that's what you saw. You were like, you don't really want a relationship. You want like surface. You want like a pretend relationship. And I'm not going to wind up being one of your victims. I don't like you that much for that. So you disconnected. And of course, you started talking to somebody else. Or that's what they assumed because you cut your energy off from them. You came closer than anyone because what it is that this person was really wanting to change. But now that I feel like you've moved on, there's a sense of it's too late. It's too late. But understand the fact that they're still thinking about you. There's a part of them that knows that you're the one that got away. You're the one that got away because they were too much in their ego, really. And now that you met somebody else, you're not going to be with them. It's like they would have to come in and give you twice as much. And I feel like that this person has issues. They just have issues. I have issues with, again, authority, to be honest with you. That's what it really is. And they project a lot. So, and the relationship, yeah, it would be more about like sex and dominance than it would be about anything because they really need to clear their inner child. And again, their relationship would be imbalanced. Being with you, they'd have to step it up, and that just shatters their self-image. Because I was like, maybe are they going to do? And Spirit was like, no. But I was like, let me check anyway. Let me see anyway. We'll just pull from the top, and really, Spirit's like, no, because again, their self-image is all about being the one in control. Having to come back to you is a problem for this person because they haven't done the work. They're imbalanced. Till they heal this inner child, they'll never really know the difference between love and sex and this dominant type of sex. It's like, so they have a lot of passion for you. But when they say that there's a fine line between love and hate, this would be this type of relationship because this person would never take responsibility for what they did and they would continually project all their shit onto you. So we have to say again, we know that there are no relationships that happen by accident, that relationships happen to teach us, to grow us, to heal us. Unfortunately, a lot of times we don't get the benefit of, having someone come into our life to love us the way that we want them to love us. But we know that the relationship serves a purpose. So we have to say, what would a spiritual What are the spiritual blocks that you needed to integrate? What shadows, inner child healing? That one's face down, so I can't tell you what it is, but I will we'll just pull all of them out like that now. And there's 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, and something's telling me I should take 2 of these because, again, being in a connection with someone like this, it means that you have to do work. It means that you need to transmute the negative energy of certain imprints that you have from your traumatic wounds, you know? Okay. So again, this is why one reason busting chains, releasing limited beliefs that no longer serve yourself. So to free yourself and use your voice to express yourself fearlessly. So I feel like this was one way that you had to utilize your voice to set boundaries. And if you have limiting beliefs, they didn't just come from being born that way. We're not born that way. We are, we're taught limiting beliefs. And sometimes that's through the experiences that we live, and sometimes it's inherited. So first card out is resilience, second card out is misunderstood, then unworthy, then overwhelming, suppression, and loner. So I feel as if you were brought up in an environment that you didn't get the emotional support that you needed. So was a sense of, you know, you needing more, like more emotional support, more love. So you were meant to feel, like you said, not worthy, and that played out in relationships. This person tried to make you feel unworthy. They didn't win, however. Now, when a family makes you feel that way, you always feel like you're misunderstood, like that you're different. You're like, I feel like people don't understand because I don't really think that what I'm asking for is a lot if I'm looking for emotional support. So, like I said, I feel like the people that you grew up with were not capable of giving you that because they were emotionally cut off. They had wounds. And so it didn't mean that they didn't love you. They loved you the best way that they knew how. But again, you were someone that needed that support and you didn't get it. And that was seen as a trauma. It was seen as misunderstood, like not fitting in, and if anything, like suppressed. Suppressed, because if you are made to feel as if you're unworthy, then no time is given towards you, right? If you're being suppressed, your opinion doesn't matter. Your voice doesn't matter. So part of this was to be able to really lay the boundaries. So this person wanted you to live suppressed. That's what they wanted to do. Even though they were soulmate, they still wanted you to live suppressed. They didn't want you to be able to voice your opinion. When you voice your opinion, again, they heard it through the wound. Well, again, I feel like you grew up in that same type of environment where it was overwhelming. And it was overwhelming because every little thing that you said was a trigger. You never knew whether this person was going to be angry by what you said, whether today it's okay, tomorrow it's not okay. So you could have been brought up with a parent that was really like emotionally not stable. Again, not even like it was their fault. It's that they had been brought up in trauma themselves. So there was no spiritual help. So being that there was no spiritual help, it didn't mean that this person didn't try and get married and have a family and everything. They did, but everything triggered this person. So again, they raised you the way that they were raised. So that's what inherited ancestral karma is that the behaviorisms and habits that the parent had put their traumas onto you. And that's what this person did from their previous relationship. They were traumatized because the person wasn't happy with them, told them again what a piece of shit that they were, and they projected all of that onto you because they hadn't healed. So there was a part of this person that didn't believe that they were deserving of love. And instead of them, being transparent, if anything, they made you feel as if you were not deserving of love. Again, because of what someone else did. And that's what a parent did to you. So even though that was the case, it made you a loner when you were a child, kind of like, obviously, if you have a parent that you don't really feel that comfortable around, it wouldn't be wise of you to invite your little friends over. If you as a child didn't feel safe around the parent, that would be your mindset. I'm not going to invite anyone. So it didn't mean that you didn't have friends, but maybe you rode your bicycle over there, and for the most part, if they weren't around, you were by yourself, you were a loner. And it was like, because you didn't get that support at home, you didn't get that love at home, so you took care of yourself that way, and it made you very resilient because you didn't have anyone. It made you actually very emotionally strong, and something that you didn't realize that you are. And so spirit created this type of connection to show you that, first of all, you are emotionally strong. Second of all, hurt people hurt people. That if you're having a hard time forgiving a mother, a father, or someone that you grew up with that tended to project all their trauma onto you because they haven't healed. So now the universe brought you someone that you loved just as equally, but like it obviously differently. I mean, if it was a soulmate, person, you did have a lot of love for them, but they did the same exact thing. And that made you say, hey, why are you doing this? Well, with a parent, a lot of times it's like you're not going to say, hey, why are you doing this? You're going to say, you shouldn't be doing this. You're my parent. You should just love me. You should just be there for me, because you didn't have a different perception of realizing, again, that hurt people, that it had absolutely nothing to do with you. It had to do with the previous relationship. And yes, this person projected all that onto you just the same way as a parent did. But it would mean that you would be extremely strong. And part of being strong is to learn forgiveness, to let go, to not let it affect your life. And what this person sees is that it really didn't affect your life. And I think that they needed for it to affect your life in order for them to feel good about what they did, being that you didn't, like they didn't do anything to you one way or the other. That is what bothers this person almost, because they're not healed. It's like, hurt people, and here it is. It's like you didn't miss a beat, and this person expected you. They had expectations that you were going to fix it. I think that you had expectations too, but you had expectations like, I feel that we have a strong connection, and if we have a strong connection, and and I feel that they really think that I'm a soul mate, that they'll come back and they'll fix it. Well, it's again, if they were healed, they would have, but their ego refuses to. Again, it's all about their self-image. It's again, because if I really let you see who I am, you're not really going to like me anyway after, because I don't like who I am. So I have to hold on to this version of myself that really doesn't exist because I feel inadequate. So the universe leaves us off with one more message, and that is freedom. I realize my wounds create doubt, resentment, and guilt. So I work to free myself of darkness. I cast off negative thoughts, find peace in my heart, and discover the being of light within me. So Spirit's saying this connection was to help set you free, to again, to break the chains, to cut the chains. I don't know where that card went, but it's again to cut the chains that had kept you. I don't know where it went, but oh, there it is. I was looking at the wrong card. No, did I lose it again? Doesn't matter. No, here it is. This one. Again, to release the limiting beliefs that no longer serve them. And again, having a parent that made you feel not worthy, not loved, not good enough because of their trauma. This person making you feel that way because of their trauma. Spirit saying, release all that. That's not, doesn't belong to you. It's all about, again, being free so that you can become a clear conduit for spirit to work through so that you can discover the light, the divinity inside of yourself so you can create your own heaven on earth so that you can become the expression of unconditional love and attract things that are going to love you and fill your cup up. So this was going through this a similar situation so that you could see it differently. That's why the universe conspired to bring this person into your life. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. You let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.